This K-member is almost out. I'm really excited to get the new one in. I've already removed the 4 bolts on this side. There was one here, here, and there's 2 underneath. Just some advice on these bolts right here. Underneath, they are almost always a little tough to get off. So what I did is pretty necessary to heat them up, bang on them a few times with a hammer. They won't really fit on well, but I like to hammer a 11/16 bit up onto there, and then I'll wiggle it loose right before I get the nut out, and I'll switch to a 18 millimeter to take the bolt the rest of the way out. That way it doesn't strip the bolt and you can reuse it. And same thing kind of goes for the ones down here, but they're a smaller size. I actually had to cut one of them. Up here, you can get the bolt out from this right here. It comes out pretty easily. But the other bolt is inside the frame, so it can't really get to it, so I had to cut it from underneath, which was a little bit of a problem. I did the same thing on this side. Now the only thing holding this K-member up on this side is I have one bolt down here. Not sure if you can see it. I haven't broke this one free yet, so I'm trying. Ugh. There we go. It's free. But after that, I have this jacked up and it's gonna come down. All the bolts are out, so this thing should be pretty loose. I'm just hitting it a few times, just trying to break it free a little bit. It's still jacked up, so it's still supported. I'm gonna try to let it down and see if it goes down on its own. If not, we may have to use some force. Oh, it just came right down. Ran into a minor problem, nothing crazy. The power steering lines are still connected here. I forgot to take those off. It's just a 13 millimeter, so that's kind of what I'm gonna do, and then this thing should be completely disconnected. There it is. That thing was heavy. I decided I was going to bring it out through the side, so what I did was, after everything was disconnected, I drug it through this side. I pulled it forward, and then with the shocks, what I did is to get them through, I just pushed them in. You can push them in pretty easily just with your foot or your hand. They compress really easy. Now it's finally time to put in the new one. There's the old, there's the new. This thing is significantly lighter. Of course, there's a bunch of extra stuff on this, like the springs, the control arms, the brakes, the shocks. But I can already tell this thing's quite a bit lighter. I'm gonna try to lift it up by hand and screw it in, but that might not work, so I might just jack it up and screw it in. I am not gonna be using thread locker on these bolts because all the bolts out again when I go to square it to make sure it's all straight. So first, I'm gonna just try and lift that up into the hole right there. There we go. There's the K-member. I don't have everything tightened down, but it's going in pretty easily. It definitely looks a lot better than what the old one looked like. And with the right motor mounts, I should be able to bolt in whatever engine I want, really. All right, now it's time to square it. I'm probably just gonna pick a solid point from the back of the vehicle, do it from the front. Not really gonna worry about showing anybody how to do it because ATCG1 has a really good video explaining how to do it. And I'm gonna see how much of my stuff will go ahead and fit onto this. I really hope my steering rack fits because I would like to reuse my power steering rack. It's been a little while since I picked up the phone and recorded, but everything that I've done is I squared the K-member and I installed the steering rack. The K-member came with new bushings and bolts for the steering rack, and it fit on just right. So if you have a Fox Body Mustang and you're getting the AJE K-member, your steering rack will fit right up. But, however, the steering rack now isn't long enough to make it to the steering column. It won't reach the power steering rack, so I'm gonna try to just bolt it, get some longer bolts, and see if that helps. I got the right size bolts, and it works pretty well. I still need to tighten it down. I need to either weld this or do something to make it a little bit more sturdy, just so it's safer, because, you know, just 2 bolts doesn't really seem too safe to me. This is a budget build, so I need to save money anywhere possible. After installing this K-member, I really do recommend getting this. It's only $280. It comes with a bunch of stuff to install it. It doesn't come with the bolts, but it comes with bushings and bolts for the power steering rack and the motor mount. So it's a pretty good deal, I think. After this video, go check out my video on suspension that I'm going to be uploading here in about a week. But by the time you see this video, it'll probably be up. So go check that out. To end this video, I'm going to show you guys a video of an angry black man.
Why'd you leave me?